afternoon on this beautiful day, on this Wednesday. This is my second edition of Story Time. Last Wednesday, I gave a story time. This story time will be a little different. This story time is seeing people for who they are and not the color of their skin. I have two little stories I would like to tell you. The first story is about when I was really young. I was in a foster home, and the lady first, she was very nice. We were cool. We got along very well. Then I found out the lady was on drugs. She kind of had addiction, and things started changing. She started writing bad checks. She started going through a lot of stuff. But anyway, I stayed at her home, and a little incident happened, and she uh, began to be abusive towards me, and I decided I had to leave. She wouldn't let me out the front door. Every time I go try to get out the front door, she would slap me. I had no way of calling the police because we weren't into cell phones. I didn't have my own phone in my room. So as I laid in the bed and I see that her attitude was getting worse towards me and how abusive she was getting, I said I was going to leave. I was going to run away. So what I did is I ran out the window. But when I ran out the window, I ran through the to the right, and she seen me because my foot went across. She see my feet running across the window sill. So I should have went to the left, but I ended up going to the right. But when I was running, I ran in the next apartment building, banging on each door. I just wanted somebody to help me because soon as she seen my feet, she said, "I'm gonna get you." She started cussing and holler, "I'm gonna get you! I'm gonna get you!" So I ran and knocked on all these doors. Nobody came, but the last door I knocked on was a Chinese person's door. A Chinese man came to the door. Him and his wife, they were older, and I was hysterical. I was, "Please let me in, please let me in." First they was hesitant, but I don't think I know God was with me because they opened the door, they let me in, and they asked me what was going on. I told them the situation that my foster mother was being abusive and I want to get away from her. I was like, "Please don't put me out, please don't put me out." So they were talking to me, and I heard her coming. I heard her knocking on every door in that hallway. She was getting closer, and I begged them, "Please don't tell them I'm here." So she came, I pointed and I said, like, to the hallway. "Can I go in your hallway? Just stay in the hallway," because I was so scared of her. So she came to their door and she asked them, she said, "I'm looking for my daughter. Is she in here? Um, have you seen her? Did she knock at your door?" And they said, "No, we haven't seen her, and we are eating now." And they just like closed the door. And that touched my heart because they didn't know me. They didn't stereotype me. They could have said, "No, get away from my door, no, leave." They could not want to get involved, but they were compassionate. So through life, people go and they be like, "Oh, I don't like this color people. I don't like them because of their skin color." That's not right. Because it's good in people in all races. It's good in bad people in all races. And they let me stay in their house. So I called my friend, and I didn't call the police. I called a friend to come pick me up. I waited in the house probably 2 or 3 hours. They did just like, "You gotta go." They let me sit on their couch. They offered me food, and I really appreciate them. When I look over my life, how nice they were. They were Chinese, but they had a heart. So we can't do that. The next situation is totally different. Years ago, I had a bank account, and the bank account, I had saved up for Christmas. I had three little kids, and I was working two jobs back then, and I had saved up. I had some stuff in the layaway, but I also saved up money. I think it was 1,000 or 1,500 for their Christmas things. So I happened to be downtown, and I said I would go on my bank and withdraw the money. I don't know why I just didn't go to the ATM or use my bank card. It's been like probably I say probably about 18 years ago. It's been a long time ago because my kids were real small. And I had saved up this money. I wasn't looking the best that day, but I went into the bank that I always bank at, but not that, no, not that location. I only had been in that location a couple of times. It was downtown, and because I usually would go to the one in the West End, but this time I went uh, to the one downtown, and they had a bunch of people the same skin color as me in there. So I walked in. I know I wasn't looking my best. I don't think I was feeling that well. I think I had just was coming from the doctor. I don't think I was feeling that well. So I walk in and I say I'm going to withdraw the money that I had saved to get my kids their Christmas stuff. So I seen everybody looking at me like everybody was dressed up a professional, but I had my ID. Back then, I think you had to have your ID, and I had my Social Security card. So I walked up and I filled out the withdrawal slip. Everybody started looking at me. Then everybody started whispering. So I'm just standing there. I know I'm me. I know I'm Cheryl. I know who I said I was. So the lady, she said, hold up 1 minute. She went and got another teller, and they looked me up and down. They looked at the withdrawal slip. They looked at my ID, took my ID, took my Social Security card, looked at me a couple times. And I'm like, I know who I am. It's me. So then she went and got the bank manager. So the bank manager came over there and said to me, um, asked me questions. What am I doing with the money? See, back then, if I knew what I knew right now, it would have been a whole situation for me in that bank. And I was like, I saved this money for my kids. I work every day. Yeah, I'm me. I bank here. And plus, my daughter was getting a survivor's benefits from her dad, so that also went in that account. The account was very active. I cashed a check there every week. I put money in there all the time in that bank account. So I started feeling bad because people were coming, they were going, getting, making their transaction. I'm still standing there like I did something wrong. The people, these were people of my own color who stereotyped me just because I wasn't looking the best. I had my ID, I had everything. I think I had, I knew I wasn't looking my best that day, but people have bad days. They might look good every day. Then it's one day you're not feeling good, so you're not dressed your best. I wasn't raggedy, but I wasn't dressed my best. But I had my ID. So after I stood there for a while, the manager said, "We're gonna the branch you open up with, we're gonna send this signature. We need a signature match." So they called to the West End. They got a signature match. Lo and behold, it was me. I knew it was me. But when I left that bank that day, I cried. I walked to the train station to go home. I cried because I felt so discriminated towards because of how I looked in the color of my skin. While I was standing there, people was looking at me like, oh, she in trouble. She must have been scammed or did something. No, I did nothing. I went in the bank as me with my ID to get the money I had saved to get my children's Christmas stuff. It was the same people that had the same color as my skin that did me like that. Now somebody probably was in there at the time doing a scam. They probably was dressed up, looking good, looking professional, and they probably were the scammer. But y'all looked at me, they looked at me like I was the scammer. I don't think they even really apologized. They were just, when they got the signature match and seen it was me, I don't think they say they sorry. They just gave me my money. The next day, I did call to the corporate office and I did make a complaint, but I took it no farther. I was so hurt. I'm like, I had my ID, I had my Social Security card. Just because I look bad that day, y'all gonna be discriminative towards me, and that's how the world is. I could have been the richest person in America, or I'm not gonna say America. I could have, cause I serve God, and God can do all things. I am rich. I'm rich because God is my Father, and money don't make you rich. What's in your heart and how you treat people, that's what make you rich. That's, you can have all the money in the world and still feel alone. But I'm just saying that to say every day in life we have a chance to do the right thing. Are you going to be like the Chinese people who helped me out and let me in? And well, these days that was like so long ago. You might not can let nobody in. You might could call the police and wait for the police to come tell them to stand outside. But thank the Lord, those people did let me in to save me from my foster mom. I thank God for those people. That was years ago. I really thank God for them letting me in. Because no telling how she probably would have beat me up if she would have caught me. Or you gonna be like the people at the bank. Judge people because how they look and what they're wearing. That's the kind of world we live in. We look at people, what they wearing, what they driving, how their hair is. Do they have on fine jewelry? Oh, that can't be her money. She getting out. She don't have no jewelry. She's not dressed nice. Uh, her hair's not combed the way it should be combed. I was clean. I was clean, but I just wasn't dressed the part. So I felt discriminated towards. Or are you gonna be like the Chinese people? Come on in. I'll help you. This is my story time. Who are you? Do you look at the color of the skin, or what they're wearing, or what they're driving, or who they know? Or do you just accept people for who they are? This is Cheryl for Cheryl the Pearls World 1247. I hope you enjoyed my stories on today. Peace.